Hello and welcome to the Joy Dealers podcast, where we talk about emotional healing and inner work in general. Today I want to speak about a topic that is very essential in my life, and that is intuition and how to connect, or in most of our cases to reconnect with our intuition after we've shut it down for various reasons in culture, and how we can reconnect with it, how we can begin hearing its voice again when it speaks to us, and how to differentiate it from maybe other voices that have become louder and more dominant within us because we've given them more attention and more importance than our intuition. So, first of all, maybe let's start with defining intuition. So what is intuition exactly? In my view, intuition is a divine guidance within us, a spiritual knowledge that is embedded into each human being. And we are equipped with this guidance to be able to navigate through the world perfectly, smoothly, flowingly, with ease, if we are trained to make this the most important guidance in our lives. But often what happens is that our intuition, or what is best for us, is somehow uncomfortable for the adults around us. So as children, when we develop, for example, as easy as a wish of what to do professionally, and that one doesn't conform with what our parents would like us to do or what society tells us is a respectful job, as a result, we silence that and we start to take on the job that our parents or our surroundings approve of. And then, tragically, a lot of people then begin to follow that job and to do that job, and doing it even though it is not the right thing for them. It's not the one that brings them joy. It's not the one that allows them to jump out of bed each time they go to work. And they become miserable and empty. And so how would this scenario look different if the child gets to follow their intuition of what it is that they came here to contribute, what they'd love to do each and every day, with a happy heart, with a fulfilled soul? Okay, so we have our intuition that we've shut down for some reason or another. And now how do we get back in contact with it? First of all, I would suggest that we begin taking note of the different voices within us. And people who've been listening to me for some time or who know me know that I'm a very big fan of parts work, of working with the inner parts and realizing that each and every human being has multiple personalities, that has multiple voices within us. And that's normal. That is not pathological. It is absolutely normal to have different personalities in different settings, to have different voices in different situations. So we begin listening to these voices, and that requires a sort of meditation practice. What I do is called spiritual guidance, and it is basically taking you by the hand and learning to focus within and to start listening to these voices, to find them, because they are usually stored somewhere. The on button for that voice is usually stored somewhere in the body in the form of some kind of tension. And when we start to hand the microphone over to that tension, it will start speaking to us, and it will tell us where it was shut off and why it was shut off. Because somebody was afraid, somebody had some sort of fear that our choices would impact their lives negatively in some sort of way. So, for example, a parent who doesn't want their daughter to become a dancer will fear their reputation being hurt, or afraid for the child that they won't be able to sustain themselves financially and that they will become a burden on their environment. So that's one possibility. And usually the people will sell us their fears as something that will negatively impact us, but really it is impacting the person that is expressing the fear. And this is the first thing that we need to understand, that if we are able to stay true to our own desire and our own purpose, we can leave the fear of another person with the other person and not be tangled with it and not be pulled down by it. But that is a very, very high practice. And most of us, because when we are children, we are so dependent emotionally on our caretakers, we will abandon our own desires and our own intuition for the connection to them. So we begin by listening to the voices within us, and we find them through some sort of meditation practice, some sort of quieting down enough to be able to hear the voices. And that can be, meditation can take on many forms. It doesn't need to be the standard sitting in a crossed-leg posture and being quiet. It can also be in a dancing pose, or it can be on a chair or whatever. And then when we listen to the voices, we begin to quickly realize which voice is actually one that has been suppressed and one that has been very loud. And then we start quieting the louder ones and allowing for the quieter ones to begin talking to us again. And I always like to find out whether something is my intuition or not by how the information that my intuition is giving me makes me feel. Does it make me feel calm, quiet, peaceful, or does it make me feel uncomfortable, fidgety, guilty? Usually then that's a sign that might be my inner critic that is suggesting something and not my intuition. And even though sometimes our intuition can lead to seemingly uncomfortable changes in our lives, ultimately, when we feel into the result of that change, it will be very peaceful and harmonious and right. And being able to overcome this fear of change that is connected to it, and seeing the bigger picture and seeing the result that it will bring, this is how we begin giving our intuition more importance again. And then our intuition can start becoming louder, can start becoming clearer. The guidance, the signs that the universe starts sending us, that God starts sending us, begin to be more obvious. And then we can lead a life that is really fulfilling because it is in tune, it is in vibration with our intuition, in resonance with our intuition. So if you feel inspired, or if you feel like you would like someone to help you get on the beginning of this path, feel free to contact me at www.thejoydealers.com or amira@thejoydealers.com, or on our Facebook page or on Instagram. And if you feel like this content brought you something, I would love for you to share it with your friends, with your surroundings. And until next time.